Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yoga and How to Modify It. My name's Dee, and we'll start today from a seated position on the mat. You could also be sitting on a chair or sitting up in bed, maybe dangling your feet off of the side of the bed. Place your legs in any comfortable position. See if you can press down on your sit bones and bring your spine into a neutral position. So if you slightly round the spine right at the lumbar opposite the navel, and then slightly arch. Go right in between and see if you can find a place there that feels comfortable. Next, imagine there's the crown of your head closer to the sky. Tighten the belly muscles. Just let the body settle here. It's kind of halfway in between being active and being um, resting or relaxing. You might even change your position to become more comfortable, to make this seat easier for you, more comfortable for you. Let's start to focus on the breath first, not trying to change it, just noticing the qualities of the breath, and then we'll begin to lengthen the breath. We'll begin to smooth out the transitions between each inhale and exhale, between each exhale and inhale. Letting ourselves follow the rhythm that the body is setting. We are playing with the breath a little to extend each breath or each half breath, part of the breath. And let's move now into pranayama. Today we'll practice 4-7-8 breath. 4-7-8 breath refers to the counting. We'll count to 4 on the inhale, count to 7 holding the breath, pausing between the inhale and exhale, and then we'll count to 8 on the exhale. One of the ways you can modify this breath is to speed up your counting. If you're having trouble holding the breath, you can count faster. If you're having trouble letting enough air out to count to 8, count faster. Beginning as you're ready and continuing for 7 to 10 rounds. Breathing in for 4 counts, holding for 7 counts, breathing out for 8, excuse me. 4-7-8. Observing what's happening to your breath, your mind as you count, what's happening in the body. And now we'll go ahead and set this breath aside. We'll resume normal breathing. If you'd like to extend your breath during your practice, that has a very calming effect as well. Let's begin now to move by fluttering open both eyes slowly. Once we can focus somewhere ahead of us, start to wiggle your fingers, start to wiggle your toes. And we'll move from whatever shape we're in into butterfly pose when you're ready. So we'll still our fingers and toes, maybe reach for some blocks, so that as we bring our feet together and our knees release out and down, they feel support underneath them. If your legs go all the way to the ground, then the ground is the support underneath them. Be conscious of exploring a little bit when you're in poses. Figure out what's better for your arms. Is it to be somewhere on your legs, maybe at your heart, maybe by your sides, supporting you, propping you up? If this brings discomfort, you can explore with moving the heels closer or farther away from the hips. And you can also lift the knees a little bit up towards the sky, prop them up higher, perhaps. Take a couple of breaths here. You know, one of the differences between a more advanced yoga class and a beginning yoga class is the length of time holding the pose. It's another way you can vary things. If I say, hey, let's get out of butterfly, we'll straighten our legs, you could stay in butterfly longer to achieve whatever you're wanting to achieve, perhaps coming into the pose more deeply, coming into your breathing more deeply. There's lots of goals people have. So let's move into easy seat. Easy seat is whatever seat allows you to press into your sits bones and lift your spine in neutral towards the sky. And so we're going to hold on with our core here, half of our body active, half of our body able to relax. A little bit of holding on, a little bit of letting go. And now let's switch the position of our feet. If you're seated or legs dangling off the bed, you could cross your ankles, you could cross your legs. Just feeling the strength of sitting up nice and tall and having our legs be in a comfortable position. Now, our next pose is really, really good for your quads and your ankle strength, but it's difficult. It's called hero pose. I'm going to open up my blanket so that it can be underneath my knees, my ankles, and my lower legs here with the shins on the floor in table. I'm going to sit my hips back, but I'm going to place a block behind so that my hips, my sits bones actually come down onto the block. So this is hero pose. We can walk our feet and legs, lower legs out a little wider if that's comfortable to achieve that uh, correct stretch right down the middle of the thigh here and to really stretch the top of the feet and the ankles here. Stretch. Speaking of stretch, Stretch has joined us. Stretch is here, stretching with us. So in hero, take 2 to 3 breaths. Hold it longer if you'd like. Always choosing what's comfortable for you over what I'm suggesting. We'll move from hero to child's pose and we'll have a prop behind us, same as we just did. So we can widen the knees. I'm going to remove my block first. Widen the knees, bring the big toes together. I think I'll reorient my blanket. If you're on carpeting, you probably don't need to cushion your knees as much. Our big toes are touching, our knees are wide. If our hips don't make it all the way back to our feet, we can place a block or a blanket behind us, maybe a pillow. something that supports the body. Oh, that's nice. That works for me. So it's right, the block's right under the sits bones. Now let's lean the upper body forward. We'll reach our hands down and out, slowly lowering our head, neck, and chest to the floor or down to a block. Maybe we'll rest our forehead on our second block. Arms up overhead, relaxed, but stretching the torso of the body, especially the side bodies, right? Feeling the lungs able to expand a little more with each inhale. And then notice the more intense exhales as the body releases that air. We'll come from there up to table on the next inhale to lift the hips up away from the heels. Walk the knees back together. And let's come into cat-cow from here. Rounding and arching the spine just a little bit, not really pressing to move very far. Not having any agenda here, just letting the body dictate the intensity of your motion today. We'll bring our spine now to neutral. And let's come into plank or half plank. Deciding what you feel like you have the strength for today. Letting the body be a plank either from the knees through the crown of the head or from the curled under toes and the heels to the crown of the head. We'll take a few breaths in plank or half plank, and then we'll come up into downward facing dog. So pressing on the toes, lift the knees and hips up and back. Make an upside down V out of your body, and then begin to walk the dog. Taking normal breaths here. Let's bring our knees and our heels even. We'll inhale, lift our gaze towards both hands, and let's step the right foot forward. We want our hips to cinch down towards the mat with the right knee staying right on top of the right ankle and heel. We're going to come into crescent lunge, either by keeping the left knee up and lifted, or we can float that left knee to the floor. We can lift our arms up overhead on the next inhale. We can bring our hands to our heart. And we'll sink our hips towards the floor. We might use blocks here as an alternate way of being in crescent pose. And we might never lift our arms, keeping blocks holding us up here, helping us stay lifted, giving us plenty of space between the belly and the right thigh. We'll move from here to a half split by pressing into that right heel, lifting the toes as we straighten the right knee. Letting the hamstring stretch, maybe walking the blocks towards the hips, maybe lifting higher, using the core, not using the support of the blocks. And let's now press through that heel. We can even sink our hips towards the back heel. I like to use my blocks to do that and really get into the stretch of the hamstring. We'll walk the blocks or shift the hips forward and down, coming back into that crescent lunge. From here, lift up into high lunge or stay where you are. If you're lifting up, press on those left toes, lift the left knee up off the mat. You can change the degree that the right knee is bent, helping you make this yoga practice work for your body. And in this high lunge, you can inhale the arms up overhead, or maybe just one arm up overhead, or bring both hands to the heart. Letting the pressure of the moving blood in the body stay more even, not lifting the arms. All right. From here, let's come into hero one by stepping that left foot up so that we can place the left heel on the floor. We can unbend the front knee, the right knee, if that helps, and then bend back into it once that left leg is in position. Our feet could be the width of the mat, so we can walk that right foot more out to the right. We can inch that left foot more out to the left. To make this pose accessible, we could use a chair. We could use the wall. Hips are facing forward. You feel a stretch in the back leg. You're strengthening this front thigh, keeping your knee, your hip, and your right ankle all in a line. And holding this for as long as you feel like holding it. We'll move from this shape back down into a downward facing dog. So as you're ready, on an exhale, begin to lower the body, plant the hands, step that right foot back into a downward facing dog. Then let the knees float down to the mat. Let's come into a child's pose here. Maybe placing the prop behind the hips to make it a little more comfortable. Prop underneath the forehead for the same reason. Let's repeat that now on the left side. So we'll inhale back up to our table. Knees come hip distance apart, feet, big toes hip distance apart. And let's start with those cat-cows again. Just a few, very gentle. Cat-cows, we're not moving fast at all. We're not trying to round the spine or arch the spine very much. We're keeping it very gentle here. From here, we'll come into half plank or plank, making a plank out of the body according to the strength you feel in this pose. Injuries may prevent you from doing plank, but half plank may be comfortable for you. From plank, we'll come into downward facing dog. And let's walk the dog and stretch here for a few moments, maybe widening the hands, palms slightly, feet slightly, if that feels better for you. We'll bring our heels and knees even. And on the next inhale, we'll lift our gaze towards the top of our mat, this time stepping the left foot forward. We'll come into that crescent lunge. Hips are low, but the right leg is extended back. Maybe you float down that right knee. Maybe you keep it lifted. Sitting the hips towards the floor, the hips towards the floor is the stretch you want to feel here. Your body can be lifted any amount from all the way up above hips, head and shoulders above hips, to really keeping that chest and side body on the left close to that forward left leg. Those of you that may want to increase your strength can go from your crescent lunge, right knee lifted, into a twist. This is not easy for me. So you can modify that as you'd like to. We'll move from this crescent low lunge into half split by shifting the hips backwards. Pressing into the left heel this time, lifting the left toes as we straighten that knee. Coming into half splits on the left. Again, torso and head as lifted as you'd like, as low as you'd like. We will all not look the same in these poses, and that's okay. From this half split, let's come back forward into that crescent shape. This is where we lift to build our strength by tucking under those right toes, lifting the right knee, coming into a high lunge, maybe using a wall, a chair, a table, bed next to us. The right heel is lifted up away from the floor, left toes and left heels pressing down in front of you, all four corners. We'll lift our arms, one, both, maybe neither. And from here, we'll turn it into warrior or hero one, lowering that right heel. Right foot is diagonal, left foot is facing forward towards the top of the mat, just like the hips. Remember, you have the width of your mat. You can widen your stance and make this a more comfortable position, one where you feel stronger. You can press into the floor more, perhaps. We'll lift our arms out and up, or forward and up, or we'll keep them at our heart. From here, we'll go back down to the floor through down dog. So on the next exhale, we'll release, step that left foot back, stretch in down dog for 2 or 3 breaths, and then find your way into table. Walk your hands towards your knees, come up into a high kneel by lifting your head, neck, and chest. Step either foot forward and come up to standing. We're going to skip the forward fold and coming up through downward facing dog. So from the middle of our mat, maybe moving props out of the way here first, let's find our sun breath. Let's get our arms moving by inhaling both arms out and up or forward and up. And then exhale, releases the arms either back down by your sides or through the center with palms pressing together. Moving at your own pace. Getting a rhythm here. Taking the whole length of the inhale to lift the arms and the whole length of the exhale to lower the arms. So we'll keep moving. My hands are reaching as high above my head as they can get. This time, let's lift the heels and come onto the toes as we inhale and lift the hands and arms. Exhale, slowly lower the toes as you release the arms down by your side. Sorry, lower the heel as you release your arms down by your side. Let's keep going at your own pace. And the next time your arms and heels lower, we'll stay right there. Let's either stay standing or we can come down to seated. I think you'll be able to see a little better for morning greeting. So sitting up nice and tall or standing up nice and tall, arms down by your side. We'll inhale the arms out and up, palms come together. Exhale, hands to Anjali Mudra. Inhale, pause. Exhale, gaze is forward and fingertips reach forward, arms extended, shoulder height. Inhale, start to draw your hands away from each other and then back behind you. Lift your chin slightly, arching the back, opening the chest. Exhale, start to round everything, lower your chin to your chest, look down, arms come back to being extended shoulder height, and then inhale, bringing your gaze forward and your hands back to your heart center. Exhale, releases your arms by your side. Let's do that 3 more times, inhaling the arms up and out. Exhale to release the hands to the heart. Inhale. Exhale, hands come forward. Inhale, cow. Exhale, calf. Sorry, cat. Inhale, coming to heart center. Exhale, releases the arms. Inhale the arms up. As you're ready, you can move at your own pace if you've memorized this. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, pausing the breath. Exhale, hands and gaze forward. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, releases the arms. Inhale as you're ready, lifting your arms and hands. Exhale to heart center. Inhale. Exhale forward. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, heart. Exhale, releasing the arms. Let's move now into a very slow sun salutation. I include sun salutations in my practice and in my teaching because it is a nice flow to be able to stretch, strengthen, balance the entire body. So, from a standing position, there are chair sun salutations, and I do have some of those recorded. Stand toward the top of your mat. Find your mountain pose, one that you feel secure and stable in. Okay? Arms at your side. We're going to take the forward fold out of the equation. So we will inhale the arms up in a sun breath. We'll exhale, we'll come down to the mat by stepping the left foot back and reaching the hands down. So we'll come right into that either low or high lunge. Inhaling the arms out and up. Exhale, we'll lower our hands, plant our palms, so our chest, head, and neck are down. Let's lift the hips to step that right foot back, coming into half plank with both knees floating down to the mat or coming into plank. Let's take a breath or two here. Nice, strong in the shoulders here. Toes are curled under, so we'll inhale, pressing on the toes. The whole body lifts a tiny bit closer to the top of the mat. And then we'll start releasing the whole body down, keeping those elbows in, hands planted right where they were, feet flattened. We'll come into cobra. Think of the top of your head reaching still towards the top of the mat by pressing through the hands. And then the back of the head lifts or peels the body up and away from the floor. Exhale to release the head, neck, and chest. Tuck under both sets of toes. Come up through plank or table into downward facing dog. From downward dog, reach. Inhale to lift your gaze, towards your hands. Step your left foot forward, coming into a low or high lunge on this side. Inhaling to lift the chest up away from the forward thigh and or the arms up over the head. Always an option to keep the arms lower. We'll come right to standing from here by stepping that right foot forward. We can lean into the left leg and take as many steps as we need to draw that right leg and foot underneath. We'll finish with a sun breath, inhaling the arms out and up overhead once again, and exhaling the hands to the heart. Take a breath or two, noticing your heart rate, noticing how the body feels, hips, shoulders, arms, and legs. And let's move to the opposite side now. Inhaling the arms up and out. Exhale, step. This time you step your right foot back and lower your upper body towards the floor. Let the right knee float down if you want to come into a low lunge. Otherwise, keep that knee lifted, lifting the head, neck, and chest, perhaps lifting the hands. Exhale to lower the upper body, releases, hands plant. We'll step that left foot back and come into half plank or plank. Maybe holding this for a little longer, maybe making this part a little shorter. Next, inhale, pressing on the toes. Exhale, lowers the body completely to the floor. Pressing through the palms of the hands, lifting through the top of the head and the back of the head to come into cobra. Exhale to release, tucking toes under. Find your downward facing dog. Stretch in down dog for the moment. And then bring heels and knees together. Inhale to lift up the gaze. And this time we step the right foot forward, coming into that low or high lunge. Remember, we can take the entire width of our mat to increase our stability in these lifted poses. From here, we can lift the chest, lift the arms, any amount. We'll come up to standing by leaning towards that right foot, leaning forward, stepping the left foot up. Inhale, lifts the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, sends the hands to the heart. Again, take a breath or two from here. Let's now come to the middle of the mat. We can place a block on either side of our feet, standing in mountain position. We're going to come into eagle twice, once to show people how to do eagle standing, and the second time to do eagle from a seated position. So first we'll get our legs into shape here. We'll cross the left foot over the right, and I like to rest my toes up on a block at its lowest level. You can rest your toes on the ground. If you're able to cross your legs a little closer together. And we're still stacked, shoulders on top of hips, on top of that standing ankle. From here, you choose how much you sink and sit into the pose, increasing the amount of work that both legs are doing here. Next, inhale, lifts both arms out and up. As we cross our hands, right elbow goes over left. If that's a lot on our shoulders, let's press the hands and elbows together. We'll inhale to bend the arms, bringing the hands right above the elbows. We'll inhale again to lift the hands up, reaching the fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, lowers both elbows towards the abdomen. We'll uncross everywhere and shake it out. Coming back to our mountain. And then crossing the right foot over left this time. Sinking down any amount or keeping the standing knee in a micro bend. You choosing kind of your own adventure there, right? And then inhaling the arms out and up. Exhaling, left elbow crosses over right, or arms and hands and elbows pressed together here to get that stretch across the back of the shoulders. We'll inhale to bend the elbows, and then inhale again to lift the fingers towards the sky. Exhale, releases both elbows towards the abdomen, and we'll uncross both sides. Let's try that again, standing either the same way as I just described, or from a seated position, let's first cross left leg over right. This can be your eagle legs. You can bring that left heel closer to the right hip, and this could be your eagle legs. You could also bring your right foot more diagonally to kind of bring the thighs closer together and to make this shape more comfortable. We'll inhale, arms go up and out to the side. Exhale, hands and elbows come together or cross. Right elbow over left. We'll bend up through our elbows, come into our eagle arms, however we're comfortable. And then we'll inhale, lifting the fingertips towards the ceiling. And exhale, releasing the elbows to the belly. And we'll uncross both sides. And then come back either to our mountain or a comfortable seated position where our legs are neutral. Let's now move to the opposite side. Left leg crosses over right. Inhale, both arms go out wide like wings. Exhale, we'll bring arms together. This time, left arm crosses over right. We'll bend up through the elbows. And then inhale, lifts the fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, lowers elbows to the belly. We'll uncross both sides. And if you're standing, come into downward facing dog. If you're seated and you like down dog, come into down dog. We're going to meet at table in 3 to 5 breaths. So stretch for a moment here if that feels good. And come down to table if it doesn't. With everyone now at table, perhaps bringing the blanket or towel back into the picture. From our table, let's come into cat-cow again. Just a couple of each. With a neutral spine now, let's step the left foot back into extended cat, and we'll send our right fingers and arm forward. We can stay here in sunbird, or we can lift and make our sunbird higher in terms of where our arm and leg is positioned. Press through that left heel, reach through the right fingers, gaze on the floor, and then release. Let the knee come in, let the hand come down, let the hips rock back and forth. We'll come back to center. This time we step the right foot back, tucking toes under, extending the leg as much as we can. Then we reach the right arm forward, or maybe we don't. Maybe we keep our leg in and we reach the hand. Maybe we keep the hand where it is and reach the leg back. Wherever you are, you can stay, or you can inhale to lift. Bringing opposite arm and leg parallel to the floor, pressing through the sole of that right foot. Strong here. Exhaling to release, right knee comes in, left arm comes down. Let's now bring the left hand to the center. We'll lift the right hand and we'll inhale. Right arm goes out and up as we thread the needle on the exhale, reaching that right hand underneath the left arm. Right fingertips reaching toward the left side of the room. Keep breathing and lifting on the inhale. And as you exhale, reach your hand under. If you'd like to come all the way down onto that right shoulder, And on the right side of your head, go ahead and do that. You can lift the left arm up off the mat. The left hand can come to the lumbar spine back behind you. Maybe opening up that left shoulder, letting the chest move towards the right. Sorry, towards the left side. Take one more breath here and then release that left hand. Let it come right in front of your face so that as you press down on the floor, you can lift the head, neck, and chest, the upper body. We'll reach that right hand towards the sky one more time, and then we'll come back down on hands and knees in table, adjusting that left hand. Let's now move the right hand to the center. This frees the left arm as we inhale to reach out and up. We'll exhale, threading the needle. Left fingers go back behind the right arm and over to the right side of the mat. Next inhale, lift them again. We'll stay lifted for 3 of these. And then the 4th breath, we'll thread the needle, lowering that left shoulder and arm in the back of the hand all the way down to the floor or onto a block. And then lifting the right hand up and back, maybe rolling that right shoulder, opening it. Taking a breath here. Letting the next exhale lower that right hand. We're going to place it right in front of us. Press into the floor. Inhale to lift out and up. We'll reach those left fingertips towards the sky one more time. Then we'll come back into our table. And let's do 2 cat-cows before we transition all the way down to supine. Coming onto our backs. And let's do a full body stretch once we're lying on the ground, chest facing up towards the sky, along with our noses. So arms at our side, let our next inhale draw the arms and hands up and back behind the head, reaching here, kind of feeling our way, lengthening the body. Let's do banana asana, walking hands and feet over to the right first. So keep inching hands and feet to the right, opening the left side of the body. See if it feels comfortable to cross the left leg over the right and to bring the left palm or hand on top of the right. Take a couple breaths here. Good. Now on your next exhale, walk hands and feet back to the center. And then begin to walk hands, feet, arms, and legs over to the right side. Sorry, over to the left side of the mat. This is opening the right side ribs, crossing right foot over left this time, bringing the right hand on top, keeping both shoulders on the floor, that right elbow's low. It's not as low as the left, but it's low, right? Opening up the intercostal muscles on the right side here. Let's walk hands and feet now back to center. We'll lower our arms back down by our side and we'll step onto each foot, bending each knee to the sky. Let's move into piriformis stretch. On the next inhale, press into your left foot and lift your right foot towards the sky or ceiling. Let that right knee come out to the side and place your ankle on top of the left leg. We can push the thigh away here, or we can pick up that left foot. The left thigh comes in toward us. We'll reach our hands towards that left leg, maybe holding on to the left leg, drawing the arms in towards the body, which is bringing the legs in towards the body. Neck long in the back. Taking some slower breaths here as we cool down. Take one more breath here. And then as you release your next exhale, release your hands, let your feet and legs float down away from you. Uncross that right side and let's windshield wiper the knees back and forth just a couple of times each side here. And the next time the knees are back up towards the center, we'll press into that right foot and we'll inhale and lift the left foot towards the sky, taking some or all of the bend out of that left knee. Then we'll bend down through it, lowering the left ankle onto the right leg somewhere, making that figure four shape, perhaps pressing with our left palm or drawing that right leg closer to us, interlacing our fingers behind, or maybe holding on to both legs on top, long in the neck, drawing the legs in. Taking one more breath here. On your next exhale, release your hands. Let that right foot float down to the floor. Uncross the left and windshield wiper the knees side to side once again. Exhaling to lower the knees. Inhaling to lift. Letting yourself move more slowly. Next time the knees are over to the right side, let's come into a twist over here. You can draw the knees closer to the chest, expand or extend your arms both out to the side, weighting down the arms, making them heavy here, keeping that left shoulder grounded next to the right. And let's begin to rock our head from side to side here. Next time the nose is over towards the left shoulder, we'll keep it there if that feels good. If not, we can move it to the right or leave our nose straight up towards the sky. Take 2 to 3 more breaths here. On the next inhale, lift both knees back up towards the center. Draw your arms once again down by your side. And then let the knees slowly rotate over to the left. Inhale to draw your arms back up, wide like wings, or maybe in cactus arms. Maybe that left knee is stacked right below the right, or maybe they're a little off from each other. You can always use a block in between your knees here, especially since one is often lifted. Settling in to this twist, let's start to rotate our chin from left to right. And then the next time your chin and nose are over to the right, leave them there or bring them to another comfortable position to find stillness. Take 2 to 3 more breaths here. On the next inhale, let both knees float up towards the sky, coming onto the sole of both feet. Draw your arms down by your sides. And let's come into windshield wipers again. Letting the knees slowly rock left to right, giving the hips a little massage. The next time your knees are straight up and down, once again, draw both knees into the chest, both of them together or one at a time, and begin to rock from left to right here. Take a few breaths, really slowing this part down, maybe not rocking very much side to side, or maybe just moving really slow. We'll move from our current pose into student choice, maybe finding a happy baby, legs up the wall, a yoga walk, a hamstring stretch, wind relieving pose right and left. Whatever suits your fancy, let your body call you to do something that it wants to feel, a stretch. Taking some time here to listen to the body. Now, as you're ready, find a final Shavasana shape that's comfortable for your body. Perhaps you're lying on your bed, sitting on your couch or chair, lying on your mat, sitting on your mat. Lots of choices. Find what works best for you and settle into the shape you've chosen. Adjusting self 100% comfortable here, wherever here is. Arms heavy alongside the body or on top of the torso. Legs heavy. Hands and feet heavy. And even the back of the head heavy on the mat. Begin now to notice your breath, first not changing it in any way, and then beginning to lengthen the breath as much as you're comfortably able to do. Sinking into your Shavasana, focusing on the breath through each inhale and each exhale. Retreating there with the breath. But as the mind wanders, coming back gently without criticism or judgment, think, oh, good, I get to come back to my breath and feel the calm sensations happening throughout the body, the lower breath rate, perhaps some tingling, perhaps just a feeling, a peacefulness. Continue to watch each part of your complete breath, continuing to draw in the air, continuing to release the air. Take 2 to 3 more breaths here. And now, as you begin your next inhale, begin to rock your head from side to side, moving slowly here. We'll bring our nose and chin back to center and let's make our way over onto one side. We'll press ourselves up away from the mat slowly, drawing up into a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall on both sits bones, even side to side, legs in whatever shape works for your body. We'll inhale our arms out and up, bringing our hands together at the top. Exhaling our hands to our heart as we close our eyes and tuck our chin toward our chest, bowing to the divine within. The light in me honors the light in in all of you, I mean. On the next inhale, lift your chin to neutral, flutter open the eyes, release the hands, and thank you guys so much for joining me today for a nice practice you can modify any way you want to make it work for your body. See you next time. Until then, take care.